Hello, my beautiful wildflowers. How are you today? Alexis here with Modesty. Well, today I am going to finally give you my top 5 foundations in order. Well, I'm not going to say top 5. These are the 5 that I tested. I'm going to put them in order for you and also let you know what I thought about them. And there's some surprises, actually, and I'm not surprised about that. But if you're interested in knowing which were my favorites and which ones were not so much my favorites, please do stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, my beautiful wildflowers. Well, today I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I thought about the 5 foundations that I've been trying for over a month now. Okay, and so I think at this point I've used all of them more than once, more than twice. And so I can give you some really good feedback on them. And also, I was able to test a couple of them in a different environment. Because as you know, I traveled over to Washington, which is very wet compared to California. And because California is relatively dry like the desert. And so they did act differently. And I really didn't think about it until I had it on. And so why is it looking like this? And I'm like, hey, it's a different environment. So I should be able to give you a little bit on 2 of the different types of foundations that acted a little bit different. Not good or bad, it's just different, right? And I think it would help you guys to know in case you do live in a more moist area versus a dry area. So anyway, let's get going because I'm sure you are dying to know. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my glasses. And because I did look some of these things up to make sure I give you the right prices. And so I actually have 6 foundations, but 2 of them go together. So I say. Oh, and by the way, I am not going to review the Touch foundation by Chanel. Because it's kind of like, it's like apples and oranges because that's more like a BB cream, CC cream, kind of very light coverage versus all of these who claim to be medium to buildable to full. Okay, so I don't want to stick that in there because it's definitely different and I wouldn't be able to compare fairly to these others. So anyway, the first one, which was number 5, and which I was so surprised because I really, really wanted to love it. And there were mixed reviews online, and there were mixed reviews and what the creators had said and the influencers. Some loved it, some hated it right off the bat, some hated it then started to love it. And number 5, and I'm really sad about this, is the Tom Ford, okay? And this is a Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. And this retails for $89 whopping dollars. And it is 30 milliliters or 1 fluid ounce. And this is really nice how it kind of pops up like this. And it has this here. And matter of fact, I am going to return this one because it just so didn't work out for me. Some I can just kind of like, kind of get a feel for it and say, okay, I can work with it. This one, I just can't. And what's wrong with this one? When I initially put it on, I put it on with the brush and then it was really spotty. And as you know, before I go on, I should tell you, my skin is normal, okay? Normal to dry, but more towards the normal range right now. And so I don't have excess oils or anything like that. And I did prep all of my skin the same, which is sunscreen, right? And so that's what I use always, and there's no difference. But this one here, it went on really spotty with the brush. And so I had to actually follow it up with a sponge to kind of, smooth it out. And this is the only foundation that I had that problem with out of all of the ones that I actually use, because I try to all do it with the brush because brush is a little bit more of a difficult getting it smooth, no streaking. It really speaks to the quality of the foundation when you use a brush and you're able to be successful with it. But this one I could not. And in the beginning I was thinking, okay, the first time I tried it on and then the day went by and I said, okay, It's kind of melted into my skin. This is good. I think it's just when I first put it on, it's not really that great, but it does get absorbed into the skin and it does a good job. Well, I was trying to tell myself a story, right? Because I really do want to love it because I love Tom Ford stuff. And I was really excited by it. But actually, by the end of the day, it had already faded. And I lost a lot, like rather long hair around my chin. And it's supposed to be traceless. And it's a traceless, soft, matte foundation. And it's not supposed to transfer, and it transferred all over my mask. And so, yeah, it doesn't do what it needs to do. And it doesn't do what it says it does. And even though this one here comes in beautiful shade range, I believe this one here is 40 shades. So it's a pretty decent shade range and pretty hefty price. So $89, and aesthetically, it's not very pleasing. This is plastic. And the only good thing about this is that as you pump it out, it goes higher and higher, so you know when you're getting empty. And you're probably not wasting any of it the way it dispenses, okay? But the foundation, the content has to be good, and it just wasn't. And let me see what if it says anything about it. It is a liquid formula, best for dry combo normal skin. I have that. And it is medium coverage, that is true, and it does have hyaluronic acid in it. It's got a matte finish, and it doesn't have any sulfates in there, so which is good. And was it matte? Yeah, it was matte, but it was like really underwhelming matte. You know, I have a couple other matte that I want to talk to you about, which I love, but this one really disappointed me. Matter of fact, I have my box here. I'm going to go ahead and return this and probably exchange it for something better because $89 is a lot, and I gave it a fair shake. Okay, and so that is that one. So this came in number 5 position. And in number 4 position, which really surprised me, I think this is in number 4 position only because the other foundations are just that good. Yeah, it's just that good. And so even though I like it, I love it actually, and it does what it says it does. And this one here actually comes in 30 shades, also 30 milliliters. They're all 30 milliliters, so they're pretty decent. And this one retails for, I thought I wrote it down. This one retails for $47. I think it's the least expensive out of all of them, and it's very nice. It does come with a broad spectrum SPF 30. You're like, come on, show us, what is it? What is it? Okay, it is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation. It is oil-free, broad spectrum, SPF 30. Here it is. It comes in a little pump. The shade that I use in this, it was so hard to get, guys. Oh my God. I mean, every shade's practically sold out other than the very dark and the very light. And I really had to hunt for this. Really hunt. And this is in the shade 210 Birch, which is a perfect color match for me. I mean, this one here, I mean, it's just very nice. It is a matte foundation, but it's not really matte to a point like matte, but really nice and more like a satin. It's a lot like satin. And this one here, like I said, retails for $47. And it's 24-hour hydration is what it claims to be. I don't know because I didn't have it on for 24 hours, nor will I ever know. And it also has a radiant finish, which is, like I said, it's like satin. It's not like too dewy, but it's not matte either. So I'm going to say satin to be safe. It is medium to full buildable coverage, and it is true. It says it's water resistant, and I can tell you it is water resistant, and it is transfer resistant and crease resistant and smudge resistant and non-comedogenic, which means it does not clog pores. And this has been tested by dermatologists, and it is true what they say. And the reason why I say this is because, you know, I pray 5 times a day, and a couple of the prayers I have to do during the day. And before I can pray, I have to do a ritual of rinsing certain parts of my body, including my face. And so I have to splash water on it 3 times, you know, I mean, decent amount. And what I do is I pat dry it with a white paper towel. And usually if it's not water resistant or anything like that, I look at the paper towel and it's like print of my face, foundation shape, right? But this didn't do that. And so it is true, and this is really good. And what you have to do is you have to remember on this one, you got to really shake well. It says shake very well. So yeah, but this one also a very good shade match for me. And I really love this. And the reason why it's number 4, like I said, is because all the other ones are like, I love it too. I had a really hard time. I mean, number 5 was easy. Boom. Out of the way. But the rest, I really struggled, except for number 1. Number 1 was number 1. I mean, all day long and all night long. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. So anyway, again, 30 milliliters. This is the most affordable at $47. And then the next one, which is number 3. And this one surprised me that it came in at 3. I figured this would be maybe 5 actually, because it didn't do anything really special for me, but it does what it says it does, and it actually is a very nice smooth foundation. And this one comes in 35 shades. It does retail for $60, and this also is a matte foundation, but this is more like not matte either. It's like a very soft matte. And that is the Chanel Ultra Haute Tenu Ultra Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation. Here it is. And it comes in a pump, like so. And as you can see, I have used pretty much of it, because before I bought all this is what I was using. And I really love this foundation. And what I love about this, only thing I don't love about this one is it is a little bit fragrant. Not like I can't live with it fragrant, but yeah, it's still, you know, it has a little bit of fragrance. And this one is in B30, and that's my shade. And this has a skincare in it, as all the other ones do. Let me see if it says anything special about it. Okay. It is a full coverage foundation that provides up to 24-hour wear with a soft matte finish. The lightweight texture glides seamlessly into skin for all-day comfort in a perfect looking complexion. And so this actually is a liquid formula, and it goes on so nicely with the brush. And so easily with the brush, no streaking, none of that. I mean, it was very, very nice. It dries down very nicely. No need to powder over this, nor do you need to powder over this either. And this one also goes over very fine with a brush, but this one even better. And it's comfortable. It's very lightweight. That's what I love about this one. This one is very lightweight, and I mean, it just feels really nice and elegant. Right? And it's a very good match, and it did stay on. This one would stay on a good 8 hours. Any more than that, it's not water resistant. So, you know, this will not stay on as well if I were to rinse my face, okay? And not like the Shiseido, and it doesn't claim to be that. So, yeah, but definitely love this foundation. If you are not washing your face throughout the day like me, this will give you 10 hours, okay? This will give you 10 hours. Because at one time, I actually did pray and rinse before I put it on, and I went through, and it went easily 10 hours, if not more than that. So, yep, this is number 3. And number 2, this one super surprised me. I almost didn't get it. I was thinking there's a huge hype, and I've never done well with this company as far as foundation. I love this company, but I didn't do so well with foundation from this company, and it's not the first time I tried this foundation, but this was just so amazing, and it just so surprised me. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you about that. And let me tell you a little about it before I show you what it is. Make you know, what is it? What is it? So it does come in 36 shades, and this is the second most affordable at $49. Okay? Go figure. 2 most affordable ones are like beautiful. And this one, I mean, also 30 milliliters. And this one is just like a dream. I almost had to kind of like think about, you know, could this be number 1? It almost could be. It almost could be. But number 1 is just out there. Okay, so anyway, surprise, it's NARS. And it is the light reflecting foundation. And this is in the shade Punjab. And this one just goes on so smooth. I mean, very similar to this Chanel, except for This one is a lot more radiant. This one is so beautiful on the skin. It just feels like, it just looks like real skin. And it allows you to see your imperfections, but meaning like cute little freckles come through. And yet it just smooths out your whole complexion. I just love this one. And let's see, and this one comes in, like I said, I think I said, right? 36 shades and 30 milliliters. And let me see what it says. It is a medium coverage. It is liquid formula. And it's good for redness also. It'll cover the redness. And it's medium coverage, buildable. And good for dullness and uneven texture, definitely. And it has a natural finish, as I was saying. And it's also good for dark spots because it actually evens out your skin so very nicely. And it's an advanced makeup skincare hybrid foundation with a natural finish that quickly blurs and smooths while visibly improving skin's clarity over time. And I totally agree with that. And I mean, the more that I use this, I mean, better my skin started to look, right? And it probably has to do with all the other ones that I've tried with the skincare in there, minus my number 5, Tom Ford. So anyway, but yeah, this is really good. I will definitely use these. I'm going to tell you, for the next year, I know I'm going to use up all of these foundations. You know, my Shiseido, my Chanel, and my NARS, and the other two, which is the top. And the two, they're tied up top. So anyway, the very best one, and it just totally surprised me as well. Because I thought this was definitely a hype. And I'm like, this has got to be a hype because this company never made a decent foundation that I know of that worked for me. I know there was another version of it before and people are like, oh, it's great, it's great. But I tried it, I'm like, yeah, no, not so great. But this time I did try it and I actually went and bought the second bottle. And these actually come in matte or in glow, which is a little bit more dewy look. And it is the Christian Dior Forever. And this is a Forever Glow. As you notice, I had to actually put this down and start using the other foundation. And I really didn't want to because look at it. Look how much I used of it already. Look at it. It's actually, you see that? It's because I did not want to put it down. And I said, oh, but I got to try the other foundations. But I don't want to because this is perfect and nothing's going to be as good. But I was wrong. I mean, really? There are so many good foundations that came out this time that I'm like, wow, really? Wow, this is great. So anyway, this one is the Forever Skin Glow. As you notice, it is in a clear and beautiful, shiny container. And it comes in a pump like this. It is 30 milliliters. And these come in 42 whopping shades. That's a lot. And it does retail for $54 each. And each is 30 milliliters. And this one is 2.5N, which is the shade. 2.5 neutral is my shade. And $54 a bottle. You're like, wow, that's expensive. But dang it, it's worth it. I would pay double of that for this product. Seriously. Now, this, I'm like, okay, why is it $89? It's like, no, not good. So this one though, oh my God, it's a dream. Like I said, I had to really stop using it. And another thing too, along with the entire place, is the Forever Matte. Okay, it's the same thing. These two are just wonderful. Look at, okay, this one comes in a frosty container with a matte. And this is shiny and shiny, right? So this is how you know it's glow, and this is the matte, also in 2.5. And let me tell you, this is where I discovered there is difference depending on where you live. I was using this one up in Washington, right? Over here, when I'm putting it on in California, it's just really nice, and it's dewy and not overly moist or anything like that. And when I was in Washington and I put this on, it was like, I'm like a grease ball. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It wasn't really greasy. It was the moisture coming out, and it was the moisture reacting to the makeup. And so I'm like, I had to powder it, but it was not a problem. I powdered it and it was beautiful. And then I started to think, they have a matte version. What should I do? I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to go get me one of these and see how it works out. And so I did. And this here is perfect. The matte one in Washington State, where it's a little bit more humid and there's humidity up there, is perfect. Okay, and when I came back here and I used it here, it's okay too. It's, you know, it's not bad. It's not like dry matte, but it's more of a satiny matte again, kind of like the, you know, like the Chanel and also the blah, 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 the NARS, right? Very nice. But it does make a difference, guys. When you're using dewy and you live in a humid place, you're going to get a little bit more dewiness than you are if you're in Arizona or California or, you know, New Mexico, where it's like bone dry. And so you really need to keep that in mind. And also, I was able to tell that with this one, with the Shiseido, which is another radiant one. I was like, what the heck is going on with all my foundations? It's like, oh my God, it's like I feel like a grease ball. Again, not a grease ball, just a little bit of moisture, a little more moisture than what I'm used to. And so I just powdered it down. That's another thing too. These two, once powdered down, worked perfectly. It did not cake, which I'm glad I was able to try that in a humid area. It did not cake. It did not settle in my lines, none of that. Now, what did settle in my lines, though, is I'm also trying different concealers. And I'm yet to find a concealer that doesn't settle in the lines, okay? Haven't done that yet. So, but anyway, yeah, but this makeup is just wonderful. I'm telling you, guys, I hope Dior never changes this formula. Never, 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 because these are so luxurious. Not only that, they feel good, and boy, they are so transfer resistant. I can put on a mask and go to work with it on the train, go to work, take it off, put it on and off, on and off. Nothing on my mask, guys. Nothing on my mask. These two, nada. Okay, the other ones, they are transfer resistant. This also transfer resistant. It might have a little bit of like a real light. You could tell that the mask is not completely white, but it's a little bit of a tinge, but it doesn't transfer like you would think. But these, nada. They do work. They're so good. And I'm just so happy with these two. And like I said, these two and my NARS, along with my Shiseido and my Chanel, all winners. And guess what? I am going to wear them in different times, because now I know if I'm wearing a mask, I'm going to work, I'm going to use these because I know that I can count on them to be completely transfer resistant. Now, if I am going to go ahead and I need to look a little bit more natural, but covering up, blurring all the things and have a beautiful look, I will go with the NARS. Okay. And then if I just need a few hours of looking elegant and just feeling all that in a bag of peanuts, I will go with the Chanel. And then for this, also same with the Shiseido, more likely that's when I'm shopping, moving around, when I'm, maybe taking the masks on and off and things like that. But absolutely phenomenal, these two, as well as NARS, Chanel, and Shiseido. But absolutely upset about this one. I'm really disappointed because you guys know I love Tom Ford, and you know I have a lot of his makeup, including his quads, his eyeshadows, his bronzers, his eye makeup, mascara, everything, right? But yeah, he disappointed me. $89, seriously. But I still do have the box, and I am going to have to return this because it just is that bad, okay? Alrighty, my beautiful wildflowers, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please put it below. And you know what? Just remember, guys, maybe you do use this and you love it. That's okay. It just didn't work for my skin. For me, it was just like terrible. But you might have a different kind of skin and live in a different environment, okay? We don't know that. So, but I was giving you information based on my use, my testing from being in a different environment with my skin type, okay? Alrighty, my beautiful wildflowers, thank you so much for being with me today. And if I added any value, please hit like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please remember, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and select all so you know every time I upload a brand new video. Alrighty, my beautiful wildflowers, I want you to have a good day, a good night, a good week, or a good weekend. Whenever you're watching this, it does not matter. But just remember, in a field of roses, be a wildflower and never sweat the small stuff. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. Whew. That I had to get all that in a can. I mean, seriously, I'm not kidding you. I'm just floored. I'm just so happy with this Dior. I mean, seriously, I can't stop using it. Look at this one. It's like, you know, all the other ones are getting jealous. But anyway, I have some really good reviews for you guys coming up. I have been testing also blushes. I have made some really cool discoveries on blushes as well as concealers, and I've been trying different concealers and as well as bronzers. So it's just a time for me to really test out different things, and I like to do that around this time because seasons are changing. I have the opportunity to do it on the hot and then also in the cool. And so yeah, I have a lot to actually record, but yeah, I'm kind of discombobulated after my trip to Washington, because then I'm like, oh my god, I've been recording a couple of days. Yeah, so sorry about that. So anyway, guys, I do need to run because I do have a wax appointment in about 15 minutes, and so I gotta hop in my car and yeah, get going. So, but just remember, I love you guys from the very bottom of my left ventricles. And you know what, I think I'm gonna have a giveaway right now. Yeah, I'm going to throw in a couple of sample things that I've gotten, but like travel size samples. I think I have some pretty good lipsticks. And I think I have a Chanel, right? Chanel, or what is this? Christian Dior perfumes and all that stuff. So I'm just going to do that. Let's use the word foundation. Foundation. I got to write that down. Foundation. Foundation. Use that word. And then I'll go ahead and do a drawing in about a week or so. And I hope I remember. I will, because I wasn't there. So yeah, since you guys watched through a long video, so might as well. Okay? So we'll talk soon.